Oh, is that us to go? Good morning. I'll call the March 5th, 2024 Norfolk Planning Commission meeting to order. Inform the public of the Open Meetings Act posted in the northwest corner and ask for a roll.
Spray, Sock, Bryant.
Here.
Waite.
Here.
Franklin. Cubey.
Here.
Griffith.
Here.
Mason.
Here.
Ronfeld.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, we have the item number 4, election of the chairperson and vice chairperson. Any discussion?
I move to elect Dirk Waite as chair.
A motion and a second?
Second that motion.
Motion and second. Go ahead and ask for the vote, I guess.
Spray, Bryant.
Yes.
Waite.
Yes.
Cubey.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfeld.
Yes.
And vice chair.
I move to nominate Cody Ronfeld as vice chair.
Second.
Motion and second. Go ahead. I think I added them to actually 2 motions, so we could have just did 1 motion.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably my fault.
Yeah.
Bryant.
Yes.
Waite.
Yes.
Cubey.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfeld.
Yes.
All commission members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
Consideration of Sarah Wortman as Planning Commission Secretary.
Move to approve.
Second.
Bryant.
Yes.
Waite.
Yes.
Cubey.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfeld.
Yes.
All commission members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
And I'd ask for approval of the full agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Bryant.
Yes.
Waite.
Yes.
Cubey.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfeld.
Yes.
All commission members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
Consideration of approval in the minutes of February 21st, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Bryant.
Yes.
Waite.
Yes.
Cubey.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfeld.
Yes.
All commission members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
I'll go ahead and read in the conditional use permit. Be it resolved by the Planning Commission of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, that Midwest Coatings Company, Inc. is hereby granted a conditional use permit as an asphalt plant subject to the following terms and conditions. The conditional use permit shall be for 10 years. Operation shall be limited to the southeast quarter of the property legally described above. Access to the property and operations will be through the proposed ingress-egress drive from South Victory Road located in the southern quarter of the parcel addressed as 2200 South Victory Road and through use of the existing ingress-egress drive from Monroe Avenue. Both ingress-egress drives shall be hard surfaced 100 feet from the edge of pavement of Monroe Avenue and South Victory Road, with the remaining drives utilizing a form of dust control as needed. Stockpiling of materials shall be conducted in such a way as not to constitute a hazard to any person or to adjoining properties. The conditional use permit shall be a personal privilege granted to the applicant and shall not be subject to transfer. Failure to observe and maintain the conditions and restrictions of the conditional use permit shall be considered a violation of the Code of City of Norfolk, Nebraska, subject to penalty as provided herein, and may be grounds for review, including alteration or termination of the permit. All procedures and standards outlined in section 27-56 of the Norfolk City Code pertaining to the conditional use permit shall be observed, and the conditional use permit granted herein shall be subject to the provisions of the Norfolk City Code. that provide for an appeal to be taken within 15 days of the decision of the planning commission. And there shall be compliance with floodplain regulations, including obtaining any floodplain development permits prior to development, which includes but not limited to grading, filling, building, etc., and any other applicable city, county, state, or federal regulations that may apply.
I move to approve a conditional use permit to operate an asphalt hot mix facility at property generally located 1/4 mile west of south of Victory Road on East Monroe Avenue.
Second.
Bryant,
Yes.
Waite,
Yes.
QB,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ronfelt.
Yes.
All commission members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
All right, I'll open up the public hearing at the request of Donald Gertis to consider a zone change from rural residential to light industrial on property addressed as 83773 557th Avenue. You want to come up and explain?
All right, I'm Don Gertis, the council. I am working on trying to expand my powder coating business a little bit, and I want to add on to my shop that's currently there. I currently work full-time at Peterbilt, Norfolk, but eventually I'd like to be on my own. And I'd like to expand my shop and add on to it, and that's the reason for the zone change. It's under Lower Southside Customs LLC.
Just looking from the picture, your property there is in that kind of top right corner.
Yeah, let's zoom in there a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there's some stuff out back that's getting cleaned up and they have do you have the map from the survey? I may have that on me. Doesn't really show too much on this, but if you'd like to look at this. They do have the legal description broke down in here as well. It's taking approximately 10 of my acres and moving them to light industrial. There you go.
How many total acres?
20 total, and 10 will be left in rural residential, and the other 10 will be changed to light industrial.
And where is your current, it seems like a
That is
shop.
That is a shop there, yes.
Okay. What prohibits him from doing business currently?
So I brought up the zoning map, and you can see that this area here is what we're talking about. So it is rural residentially zoned right now, so you can't really have a full business, particularly with employees, and if you want to expand it, you will have employees. So the only way you can do a business on a residential property is a home occupation, and the only people who work there are the people in the house. So by expanding that, then you needed to go into a different zoning. And so, because they were a full 20 acres, the surveyor was able to get tract 1 and 2 to be just over 10 acres, and that's why you guys didn't see a plat, because state statute says if you're over 10 acres, you don't need to do a plat. And so tract 1 is the legal description for the zone change before you. Since the house is already rural residential, they wanted to be, remained rural residential, otherwise they'd kick them into, the house would be non-conforming at that point in time.
What's to the south?
There is my neighbor who has a ton of junk, I guess you could say a junkyard. He has some donkeys and some animals, and he's retired and lives in his camper, I believe. So,
Are you planning to physically build onto your shop and expand it, or, okay,
physically add, I've not decided how far I'm going to go, but probably 60 by 70 maybe.
okay.
Something like that. I'm still in the process of working that out.
Any other questions? Thanks. Anyone else that would like to speak on behalf of this public hearing? Anyone else?
I'm Lauren Bossler, and I live right to the south of that property. Not directly, I'm a half mile away, but I got property to the south there. My concern is,
Are you on the corner of the,
if you go to the south there, no, the other way. Or no, to the south, I'm sorry. I'm on the corner with, go down a little further. Now to the right there, that's where I live.
Okay.
I don't oppose to, if he wants to have into a powder coating business. My concern is, why do you have to annex 11 acres? If you're just gonna run a powder coating business out of a shop, why would you need the whole 11 acres? Why can't you just annex an acre?
You mean zone change?
Yes.
That is his request. He split it in half, and that is what he wanted to zone change to I-1. I don't know, do you have other plans to maybe add other businesses out there at some point or something?
I talked with Val a little bit, and she and I talked with the survey, and the surveyor was,
Schroeder?
his suggestion is what I do, because in the future, if I do decide to sell some of it, maybe to somebody who wants to add a business or something in the future, it'll be zoned that already.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to be a little proactive, I guess you'd say.
Yep.
Well, as you see to the south, all this garbage, if you move your screen down back to where we were, go up to the north and then to the right. Okay, just about, go over to the right about on the north side of the road. Now, can you screen? That place there is just, was a really nice place that was sold. It was that old planter that passed away. That, that was a really nice place. Now it's just full of junk cars. I mean, the neighborhood, I don't have, if you keep everything clean and uptight out in that neighborhood, I don't have a problem, but we're getting too much, well, like he said, junk. That guy just got a place full of junk. I guess what I would like to see is you just annex a smaller portion into the zoning change if you're gonna run a powder coating business. Cause I don't know if we necessarily light industry out there in that big area. I mean, the other thing is if it's annexed into the city, which that property is, then it should have to be kept up, enforced by the city to be clean. You can't have junk cars, junk trailers. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I'd like to have every one of you drive by there, both of them places out there, and see what's going on. I mean, I know it's annexed in the city, so if the city wants to move that way, then I think they need to abide by the city rules, you know. Those are my concerns. I thank every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I'm sorry, sir, did you sign in? No. By chance? If you would do that for me, please, thank you. I guess our new system doesn't record who the public is.
Not yet.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Dana Larson. We have property just on the north of that line there, so if you could bring that, kind of that line to the north of his property. That one that showed the buildings and, yeah. So we have 35 acres down there, and then we have, our home place is just up to the west there. So we look down on that property, we're kind of on a hill. We look down on that, but could you zone in or go in a little bit where his fence line is and his buildings? A little closer to where we can see. So, Robert, are you talking about just that building that you already currently have there, the shop?
Yes, that one would be in the light industrial, and then it would continue south and then along Bob Hoovy's trees line.
So the house wouldn't be,
The house is not. The house will remain
Because,
rural residential, and the
you know,
property
it's-
adjacent to yours will remain rural residential.
okay, but it almost seems like that shop would be over that line,
It isn't.
No.
The surveyor did the
Okay.
survey, and it is not.
okay? So then, what's the plans for, like, to the west, along the fence line, our shared fence line?
That will remain rural residential. That tract that is along adjacent to your.
Okay, so
all of that
will
tract
you
right
be
there.
parking more
No.
vehicles and stuff there? Can we go back and zoom into those? There's a lot of stuff already.
And that has actually, this weekend, I actually cleaned up a lot in the back.
See, you know, that's our concern, Robert, is more junk vehicles being pulled in there and sitting along our fence line there.
So that fence line along there, I rent a small portion of that to a truck driver friend of mine. His name is Cody Jensen. That's where he stores them.
Okay,
And there was talk with him about potentially buying some acres from me in the future. It was just talk, that would give him an area along.
I don't know, that picture's not very clear, but there's a lot of,
There's approximately 15 semis out there, yes.
yeah,
That
and
are
then,
cars.
you know, to the south of your shop there, the stacked up concrete stuff,
Yes.
you know, I mean,
Concrete blocks.
yeah, I don't,
That's for expansion. That's why I bought them.
okay, and
To
there,
use
you
to
know,
expand.
there's just a lot of stuff.
If
There's a
you-
lot of stuff, and so when we look down there, it just looks like, kinda like a junkyard.
Well, I actually, at one time, I bought out a scrap iron service, and I was using that, and I got rid of that.
Okay,
And I did have Walters bring out a container, and this last weekend, if you drive by currently, it's still sitting out there, it's full, and it is cleaned up.
you know, and we have that pond there, you know, and we have a lot of wildlife around that area, and I'm worried about the water, our water, and all that, but, I think it's a good idea that Lauren said you go ahead and drive out there and have a look before you make any kind of decision on that.
If you're concerned about powder coating being environmentally friendly, I can assure you that it is.
Okay,
It is safer than paint.
okay,
Do I want to say something?
yeah. you know, cause we, you know, eventually we may have some animals on the other side of that, on that 35 acres. Right now, we just cut it for hay, but if we could fix that fence, we're considering putting some animals on there, so I'm kind of worried.
I had animals for a long time out there.
I know you did. They were over on that side of the fence too.
Sometimes they did get out, yes.
But what I'm asking you is, why can't
Sir,
he
can you,
clean?
sir, can you address the?
Why can't he clean that up so I don't have, you know how much those old semis and vehicles, there's gonna be gas, diesel, oil. Is there any kind of environmental worry about that stuff sitting there for 15, 20 years?
I mean, right now, that area that you're talking about is rural residential. He's leaving that as is. We're strictly talking about where his business is located that he wants to change to, light industrial. So, I mean, we can't do anything with the rural residential that he has right now, because nothing's changing with
But
it.
like he said too, he's gonna probably sell some more to his friend or to a
And
coworker and put more stuff on there.
that's his decision.
I just don't know how much junk you can put on one area without hurting the land.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak as part of this public hearing? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and open it up for discussion.
If you look at the part that we're addressing, there's really, I mean, the part that he wants to make into industrial really doesn't have anything over there right now, so. And I mean, we gotta remember that that's what we're voting, or we have in front of us. So. I'll make a motion to consider a zoning change from rural residential to light industrial on property addressed as 83773 557th Avenue.
Second?
Bryant,
Yes.
Waite,
Abstain.
Cubie,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ronfelt.
Yes.
All those in favor, Bryant, Cubie, Griffith, Mason, Ronfelt, Waite is abstaining. Motion carries.
Any other open topics or concerns to address? Seeing none, I'd take a motion.
So moved.